Alright, we're going to go ahead and do some streaming. Rage Quit Wire style. So, going to finish up these Crisis Protocol models. I'm going to just put a quick colors on the base and give them a wash, highlight them a little bit, and then move on to the scenery. So, just going to kind of talk through it. Might have some people join in the chat, maybe not. It's a little later. So I'd be a little surprised if people show up, but that's okay. I just wanted to go ahead and get the stream going. I also want to test out my computer. It's kind of been a pain in the butt today. I don't know if it's just getting too hot in this nerd room or what, but might have to take it somewhere and be like, yeah, it keeps resetting and kind of being dick. So we're just going to slide everybody over and up and just kind of go from there. So these all turned out pretty good. Probably got a couple touch-up spots, but like I said, just going to kind of get going on it and just base them, get them at a good spot, and move on to the terrain. So we're painting this whole core box. So hopefully everybody's doing okay. Starting off pretty much all of them like that, because I really do sincerely hope everybody's alright. Just because it is crazy times out there. I had to go shopping today and I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, it wasn't that bad because I feel like our area is pretty good. We do have obviously some cases. I think there's very few in the places in the country that don't. But the main thing I didn't know what to expect is I just went grocery shopping because we do once a week. Gotta eat. And I didn't know what to expect, and I ended up going in there, and the price is all sorts of jacked up, which I kind of get because, I mean, it's hard to get stuff probably right now, but it's just still sucks a lot. Just because, I mean, a lot of stuff like just snacks, like some chips and crap, some of that stuff was like $6 for a box of like Cheez-Its, which I just think's ridiculous. So, yep, had to bite the bullet and pay a bunch of money for groceries. Definitely sucked. Okay. Not bad. So I'm going to hit all the grays on these bases first. Then I'll come back and work on some of these metal grates and stuff. Captain, you don't need it because you got a bunch of metal. And I'll be painting some more Crisis Protocol stuff because the guy I'm commissioning to paint this for, Joe, he bought a bunch more stuff. So I get to paint some other things like, what did he say he got? I know Hulk's in there. He didn't get stupid chair dude, even though he's really good. He got some of the, oh man, I can't wait to paint those Wakanda models. Got like Killmonger and Black Panther. So that stuff's going to be cool to paint. Okay, call that probably good. You notice you don't have to do a lot with these Marvel Crisis bases because after you put a wash on them, they're going to turn out pretty decent. I've seen some people paint them up a lot of different ways. This going gray and washing and then just kind of highlighting gray again is probably the easiest way to do it, just because it gives you kind of the best street effect. That's easy. There are a lot of other cooler effects, but those take more time. And like I said, you just want to get your stuff on the table and play them. You don't really, some people really love taking time and doing that, and that's fine, but most people, I would say, just put it together, paint, let's go, play. some people don't even want to paint, which is why they call me. Alright, we'll call that base good. And when you're painting a base like this, when you're just putting your base color down, see what I did there? Sorry, that's terrible. Won't do that again. But you can use a crappy brush doing this. You don't need to use anything stupendous until you start wanting to do straight lines and stuff. Alright. Pow. Okay, going. Cannot wait to see people again. Really just want a game. And probably the sad thing for me is I'm all excited about playing Malifaux. And yeah, I'm doing Vassal League. But I'm going to start streaming after this Crisis Protocol set. I'm going to start streaming painting Malifaux stuff. And I mean, some of those Malifaux models are just amazing. And they're just fun to paint. And I just want to play them. I got some Hamlin Plague stuff coming in. Can't wait to do that. Sorry, bump my camera a little bit. There we go. Honestly, there's not a lot of Malifaux models that I look at and I'm like, that's stupid. And there's a lot of games that I play where I do look at them like, that's a stupid model. It just doesn't look appealing to me. I can't say that for Malifaux a lot. A lot of the models just look cool. Let's see, are there any that I think look stupid? Some of the Reser stuff looks stupid. Kind of looks, you can tell that, I don't know, some of them just look like older models. And look like they could use some TLC, some love. But what else? I wouldn't say the models look stupid, but I'm not a 10 Thunderers fan. Because I don't know, that whole monk kind of blossoming, kind of like Romance of the Seven Kingdoms kind of deal, that's just not my favorite style. I did love that game though, playing Romance of the, no sorry, I said Seven Kingdoms, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That game was legit back in the day on the original PlayStation. And a lot of people will know that game from Dynasty Warriors because it's basically the fluff and background for Dynasty Warriors, if you ever played that, which is kind of just like a spammy kind of just killing samurai-esque game, but it was China. But yeah, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, basically you picked one of the old kingdoms and you had to expand it, and you had to use politics and all sorts of kind of cool stuff you had to do. And I just really enjoyed it. It was a cool game. Cool game. So I don't have anybody in chat, so I'm just going to fill it in with just random stuff I'm thinking about. Because I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just painting gray, and then I'll come back and paint silver on the models that don't already have it on their base. All those old games are really good. I'm actually talking with my buddy right now from New York, and growing up we were big Diablo 2 fans, right? So we played a lot of Diablo 2 when we were like in high school. So they just put it on Blizzard Classic Games, I think he said. So we're actually going to go back, and I'm about to hit spring break, which I know people are like, oh, what, you're not, we don't have spring break, it's the coronavirus and stuff. But we're actually still, as a district that I teach for, We're actually still doing a spring break because we're still technically doing e-learning. So they're going to do that, which is good because that'll give me a week of not having to grade, not going to meetings, and it'll be good. Be a good break. I won't have to help my son with his homework. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And the point is, me and my buddy are going to play a bunch of Diablo 2 as well. I'm going to stream a bunch and play some games, stream some games. Should be a lot of fun. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay. Alright, so we got that. Don't need to do Black Widow. And you can see it's a little spotty in some of these areas. Like if you look at, you can see some of the brown still coming through it. Hey-o, Joe. Painting your models, bud. But that's going to be okay because when we do the wash, it's going to clean that up. See, this is why I love Joe. Joe, I can be like, hey, man, you want to BS, hang out on the stream? And Joe's like me. He'll be up all odd hours of the night. So, yeah, I love having Joe as a buddy. He's a night owl just like I am. Yeah, so Diablo 2 Blizzard basically made it where you could repurchase and buy it and download it and the expansions. So for like 20 bucks you can get the Diablo 2 and all the expansions. So we're going to go back and me and my buddy are going to go back and play it, which if you wanted to, Joe, you're more than welcome to join us too. I don't know how big of a Diablo 2 fan you were, but I loved it. It was my jam. I'm actually going to try this P3 metal I just got. You shake it up real good. I promise that's me shaking the paint, not anything creepy. It is the internet. You do never know. So I've said this before, this P3 paint is amazing. So I just picked this one up. So it's the Radiant Platinum. I haven't used this one yet, so I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like on a model. Shake that up a little bit more. Alright, Joe, so I'll kind of shoot you. You'll probably let me figure it out. I think you'll have to download the Blizzard app on your computer. And the cool thing is Diablo is pretty basic, where you probably be able to do it on a laptop or something. Get in picture here, sorry guys. You want to be a little careful because I don't want to get a lot of silver over here. What do you mean, how clean? The surface I'm painting on? Are you talking about my table here? Like, I've been painting for a while, Joe. I mean, I'm not like a child that is going to get it everywhere. And the cool thing is, though, this is like water-based paints, right? So, I mean, if I did do something like that, this is kind of cool. If I did do something like that where I got it on the ground, I could just dab it up and get most of it up. Yeah, that's kind of a cool silver. It's kind of like a, so it does say rustic, so it's kind of cool. It has a almost like a dirty rust effect to it. I don't imagine sometimes, Joe, you took a lot of care when you were painting. You're kind of like, let's just throw some paint here, let's throw some paint there, yeah. It's almost cool because This metal is almost like a brown metal, like almost rust built into it. It's kind of cool. Cool. Happy about that. Alright, good deal. That is neat, as Chris would say. Alright, Captain, go over there. Yeah, I was saying before you popped on, Joe, that you had more Crisis Protocol stuff for me to paint after this, so people can look forward to that. Because, man, these models are just cool looking. So I'm saying this game could suck and they would still sell models. I'm gonna say, Joe, you've been scheming how to build your 10-man. I saw you asking questions in the Discord. What 10 are you looking at bringing? If you don't mind me asking. The last episode of the podcast, Joe, you'll probably like. It's we did an episode on basically the coronavirus. We actually just talked about how to kind of keep yourself sane, what kind of nerd things you can do to entertain yourself. So you actually probably like that last one Chris and I did. So yeah, give it a listen. It's a good one. Okay, I need to do that too. Alright. Let's see here. Last one, I believe. And then I gotta go back and get some of this gray. It's funny, we did some cross promotion with a Malifaux podcast called Third Floor Wars. And the guy's pretty cool, but when we were kind of pitching the brand and stuff, we were like, oh no, a lot of people kind of wish we'd probably stop making podcasts and stop talking, but we're going to keep doing it. Like, F them. You can say a lot of stuff about different podcasts, but I think our podcast, even though we're, idiots sometimes, I really feel like we kind of do our own thing. We're not really copying a lot of what people are doing. And I don't think a lot of people can say that. I think a lot of people just kind of put the same crap out. Alright, where did I see that? Was that Spider-Man's? Yes, it was. Okay. Good. Just doing some touch-ups on these bases. Gotta get back in picture. I'm telling you, this takes some getting used to. Alright, I think that's mostly good on everybody. Alright. Let's see here. Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Loki, Valkyrie, Black Panther, Okoye. Is that how you say your name? Okoye, and Black Widow. So Okoye is actually, from what I understand, pretty good. Because I think Okoye is the one that can like push your models in different directions, which can be super annoying. She's the one that I think Evan likes to use with the poop chair dude, where your model will end up like on the other side of the table. So, yeah, I think she's pretty good. Got Hulk for some smashing, Thor for smashing. Winter Soldier's out, I think, so that's cool. Bucky is cool. I do like Bucky's story. Looks solid from what I know. I mean, I have limited knowledge on some of these models, but it looks good. Let's see here. You got 1, 2. So you only have 2 from the starter box. But it's Black Widow and Captain America, which are... I love when Captain America flips because he's like almost unkillable because he treats blanks as saves on the defending dice, and that's just a cool mechanic. I just love the idea of him being like, I can do this all day and just, you know, getting up ready to fight again. It's just really cool imagery. Yeah, they are. Black Widow and Okoye are definitely cheap. Joe said they're 2 points, and yeah, when you're kind of building up your team, you definitely want some cheaper models for sure. Let's put these over here. Let's see it. Man, this rust effect's cool. I gotta let those dry for a minute, but they are pretty cool. We need a black wash, which is there it is. The old black wash, the old Nuln oil. Boom. Let's see here. Maybe I'll grab some of this terrain and paint while I'm waiting for those to dry. Let's see what we got over here. Grab something easy. Alright, let's grab these dumpsters. So let's put everybody aside. Go away, Ultron. Paint some of these dumpsters up. I think I just ate some paint on accident. Yeah, that's really what's wrong with me. I ate those lead paint chips. Oh, man. Hey, Joe, I'm going to let you decide since you're on here. So I got your... So I think these would look really good green. But if there's another color you'd want me to paint the fronts and sides and back of the dumpsters, give me a shout out right now, because it's your dumpsters. But traditionally they look green and kind of a dark gray / black tops on them. Let me know which one you want. You have 30 seconds to decide. Of course, there's like a 30-second delay, so I'll talk about other stuff while Joe's thinking. So, let's see here. What else went on today, nerd-wise? Put another deck together for Tabletop Simulator. I actually, so we, as a local group, there's a bunch of us that downloaded Tabletop Simulator, and we started messing with the Song of Ice and Fire tabletop. Alright, cool. We'll go with green then, Joe. So, yeah, we started messing with it, and you can kind of chuck stuff, and you can actually table flip on Tabletop Simulator. So we were kind of having some fun with that. It was good fun. Boom. Joe went with the green. And something that's interesting when you paint these flat surfaces, you do gotta kind of make sure you get an even coat, because you can start seeing these brush marks when you paint large flat surfaces. So that's something I'll work out as I kind of paint it. But the first layer doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be there. Joe, do you know what the logo on this is? It's kind of like a bulldog. Do you know what that represents? Is that like some iconic Spider-Man company or some, I don't know, Marvel company? It's just some bulldog logo. Mad Dog 2020, I don't know. Mad Dog 2020. Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that that's like probably a comic book question. And it might not. It might just be some random logo they pulled off of a comic book. Who knows? It's kind of like, yeah. I think you're kind of like me, Joe, where we're just kind of filthy casuals, right? Like we like the stories and we have some of the canon, but I'm not a super comic book nerd, so a lot of those details I'm not 100% on. I do kind of like people that really get into the background of comic books, though, because they do have like a huge depth of knowledge, and it's kind of interesting to me because there's been so many comic books that have been, I don't know if rewritten is the right word, but they've come up with a different version and like almost like resetting, right? Where it's like all of a sudden like, oh, here's a new Captain America and we're gonna ignore what happened in this series because this is a whole different one. And I always think that's interesting. Who is the Spider-Man villain pissed you off? Who was this? I want to know. Said Marvel pissed him off with the Spider-Man supervillain. Was it the man who shall not be named? Mr. Fisk? Alright. Fisk is a boss, especially in Daredevil. When Fisk was in that, I was all about that. I'm not a Daredevil fan, but man, that Netflix show was on point. Alright, so that one's got a good start to it. We'll do this other one. I'm sorry for the, I mean, I'll get back to those models. They're probably about done, so by the time I'm done putting this green on this, we'll probably be about done with these trash cans. You're a trash panda. That is one comic book series I feel like I need to read now is Guardians of the Galaxy, just because how much I love them in the movies. Man, Joe, are you that mad you won't tell me which super or which villain made you mad? Hobgoblin. He was the dude who raided the Green Goblin's stash. Okay. So why'd that make you mad? I don't know much about Hobgoblin. I just know he's similar to the Green Goblin. Were you mad because they kind of, I don't know what, he took all the Green Goblin stuff? I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah, because I actually never understood where Hobgoblin came from. I know the Green Goblin. Is the Hobgoblin Green Goblin's son? I don't know, is that a thing? I know James Franco did an okay job. Harry. Alright, let's see what Joe had to say. So, was it so long ago that you gotta look it up? Is that why you gotta hang on? Or you gotta brace yourself with a stiff drink? Either way, this should be good. I think Joe's just trying to be accurate. It's alright, Joe. There's only dozens of people that are gonna watch this. Maybe not even a dozen. This is still new. The running line for our podcast. We have dozens of listeners. And now we have a dozen. Okay, so it's going to be dozens of Rage Quit Wire, dozens of listeners, a dozen viewers. It's going to be our new thing. I'm going to put that on a shirt. Alright, we're getting there. Kind of good though. While I mean, I don't know how much we'll get into this, but if it does get down the line where we have 2 trash cans, now if it gets down the line where we actually have multiple people in the chat, like when I say multiple, I mean like a dozen, right? I don't think there will ever be a time where I'll have 100 people in the chat at once, but who knows? We can dream. But you know, when there's only a few people in there, you can actually have a pretty good conversation with somebody. Whereas if there's like dozens of people on there, I'd have to just kind of catch what I see. Yeah. All right, so I think these bases are all dry enough. I can put this wash on there. So we're going to put the Mad Dog trash cans to the side for now. We're going to start doing this wash. Okay, so there was a big mystery who Hogman before the internet, so the identity was only discussed among my friends. Okay, so did somebody spoil it for you? Somebody was like, hey, guess who the Hobgoblin is? They read it and just totally ruined it for you? I don't know, I'm just BSing here. No oil, boom. Do your magic. That liquid talent. I knew who he was and nobody would believe me. Peter Parker's history always came into play somehow. Okay. Did Peter Parker become Hobgoblin? Is that how they made him mad? I know I don't usually say pool up this, but this silver is bright, so I'm actually letting it pool a little bit. I've just never been a big fan of Spider-Man, and people think that's weird because my name's Pete. I'm like, oh, you must like Spider-Man, right? It's like, wrong. I think Tobey Maguire ruined him for me. I do like this new Spider-Man, though. Whatever his name is, I can never remember off the top of my head. He actually did Tom Holland, I think that's his name. And I like a lot of the stuff he's in. So he might maybe bring me back around to Spider-Man, I don't know. Was early so I just want to live life. Okay, so Pete got his girl taken, okay. We're getting into it now, figuring out who the Hobgoblin is. Or was. Why Joe's mad about the Hobgoblin. Okay. Continue, Joe, as I keep talking. Okay. So the Hobgoblin, and I was going to guess that, but I wanted to let you finish. So Joe says the Hobgoblin was this rival photographer that stole his girl. Okay. I'm getting there. This is like some Maury Povich stuff. Got it. Maury. You are not the father. Peter Parker, that was a lie. You say you were not Spider-Man? That was a lie. You freaking imagine. Alright, I think we're good there. Okay. That's it. If I can go over here. Let's see here. So you were mad they killed the Hobgoblin in a punk way? Is that kind of what I'm getting from this? You feel like they did your boy dirty? They did my boy wrong. Man went down like a bitch. Alright, let's see what... Oh, that looks weird on that one side. Alright, we'll see how that dries. That's kind of interesting. Metal. I'm kind of sad nobody uses Iron Man a lot in the game. Like, I figured he'd be good at least for objectives, but I see a lot of people just not using him in-game. At least I should say competitive-wise. I'm sure there's people that just bring him because they love Iron Man. I am Iron Man. Let's hear. As if he is another other person, he had powers of a normal human. Wow. So yeah, this kind of super villain that gets taken out by just a regular Joe Snuffy human gangster con man. Yeah, I can see how that make you mad. And that's a cool thing though when you think about it, Joe, that you were so invested in that character that when it didn't go the way you wanted to, how just messed up that was to you. Yeah, let me get back in picture here. Sorry, guys. And I think that's cool, but you know, when it goes wrong, it just kind of sucks. Alright, getting there. I think we saw that a lot with Game of Thrones too, how Um, yeah. Well, it's the same thing I was just about to say with Game of Thrones, right, Joe? Where you get so invested in these characters, and then when Game of Thrones they would kill them off or just do the character so wrong, it just make you so mad, right? Like that's why so many people got so mad when like Eddard died, right? Because it's like season 1. I know y'all love this guy, but pow, dead. And everybody has a different person in Game of Thrones that makes them mad when they die. Let's see here. Who am I mad when they died? Yeah, I know. I was kind of mad when Ygritte died. Sure. How would you like me to do the banding around the bases, Joe? Usually I just do black, but I can definitely be open to other things as well. So what colors were you thinking? Just give me an idea here. Because it's going to happen here after the washes. So now's a good time to mention that. Like what, good guys one color, bad guys another color? Yeah, I was kind of mad when Ygritte got killed. I mean, one, she was hot, right? So that was good, but her character was interesting. Like she challenged a lot of traditional kind of feminist roles. Like she kind of treated Jon Snow like, you know, he was her girlfriend. Like he was the prettiest girl alive kind of deal. All right, is that good? Is that where I want that? Yeah, we'll go like. All right, Avengers blue, red for the bad dudes. Okay, you just want the good dudes blue and bad dudes red, because I know that'll help you when you have them on the board and you're looking for them and stuff. Okay, well, fucking A, Joe. Already painted them. You don't get those. And brown would look weird. I wouldn't do brown. What would I do? What color would we do for Wakanda? Wakanda would actually look kind of cool yellow, I think, Joe. Like a yellow, yellow ring. What do you think about that? Yes, I can go back and do the Asgardians. I was messing with you about that. It doesn't take me, but maybe I'll have to layer it because it's black, but it won't take me but a handful of minutes to do that. I'm waiting for the chat to catch up here. You just said tan, but I think when I said yellow, you'd probably be okay with that, or no? Okay, good. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think yellow would look cool. It'll pop, and it'll be easy for you to see. Captain America and the Avengers. Love that game. It wasn't very good, but it was fun. Old Super Nintendo game. Remember Hawkeye looking weird in that? Was Hawkeye in that game? There's one of those. Yeah, I think it was because it was the purple Hawkeye. Alright. I think that's what we need. Which I think then we'll let that dry. and then we'll go over that when it's done. Let me grab these Asgardians. So green ring bases. Okay, so we need the green for these. Okay. I mean, you can use any model with any faction, really, right? It's just a lot of them you don't get the benefits if more than 50% isn't of the same faction. I believe that's how that works. Could be wrong, but I believe that's right. Okay, I'm going to layer that again, Joe. But how's that look? Yeah, Diablo 3 is lame, dude. Don't even think about it. Like, Diablo 3 is easy mode. So like Diablo 3, I went through most of the game and didn't even have to worry about dying once. Even the boss fights were like ridiculously easy. So me and my buddies had to put it on like hardcore mode for Diablo 3, and then it was kind of hard, but still very doable. Whereas my buddy just started playing Diablo 2 again, and he said that just within playing it for a couple hours he almost died twice. So I mean, the graphics of course are going to be better for 3, but watch that sword. But the challenge is there, and I think the story's better in my opinion. Because, you know, it's still not great as far as graphics go, but the story's just so much better in 2. Yeah, the colored, good call on the colored bases, Joe. That looks good. And like I said, I think it'll help you out too with these colored bases. It's going to take me a second because I'm going to have to let it dry, and I'm going to have to do a second layer around it just because this is black. Still play the original StarCraft. So I saw Jacob play the original StarCraft one time. He was playing it, and he used a mod that made it. It was like a chibi mod So like all the graphics were these chibi models. So like the Zerg Rush was like hilarious. I think there's a lot of countries in Asia that play. At least Jacob was telling me was playing like competitively still. Yeah. Yeah, it'll help. Like, just it was a good call. I wasn't thinking about it. Plus, I'll show you when they dry. It looks really good. When I'm just looking at them across the table here, really good. That was a good call. It's almost like base identifiers, but you don't need to do it. Oh, Joe, you're gonna have people like so flipping. They're gonna be like, "Why didn't I do that?" You'll be like, "Ah, look at all you lame boys who left your base rings black, lamos." So this is why I hang out with Joe. Joe has some great ideas. Come on the live stream. Watch Pete paint rings around the bases. As you will. Yeah. You can kind of see it there. I'll give you a shot here later because it's easier to put them down and get you a shot there, Joe. Let's do the second rings while I'm waiting for it. Plus, you know, with these bases painted this way, you really won't get your models mixed up with, and obviously you probably wouldn't anyways, just because, let's be honest, a lot of people you play are going to be slow to paint their stuff, or they're not going to paint their stuff. But if they are painted and they are similar fashion, this definitely helps you. Plus, I think when you play, it'll help you identify where yours is, and that way. I put my camera down. There we go. That's clean. Clean, clean. So it'll help you when you're trying to make your plan on what to do and be like, okay, I'm over here definitely because my stuff has these cool painted bases. Were you planning on that, Joe, or did that just pop in your head? Were you just like, oh man, that'd be good? There you go. I know hella's like hella hard for people to see, but I'm just painting the ring over twice just because black is hard to cover up. It did, didn't it? That was something that I did a lot for you. Is we just painted your guild ball models up. We always put the base colors, whatever color the guild was, and it really does kind of pop on the board. And I just wasn't thinking about it for these models, but Definitely cool. Yeah, and I'll let these dry and I'll kind of send it to you, Joe, but it looks good. Oh yeah. Cool. Good collaboration. What is that? The Jewish Star? Sorry for the paint being by the microphone. That might be annoying sounding. Alright, wash is setting in. Still drying though. So we're going to move back to these trash cans. Show off this black contrast paint. My favorite contrast paint. I'll put this black contrast paint on, Joe, and I'll show you how these green bases are turning out. It's a really nice touch. It's like Zombieland. You gotta enjoy the small things. Have you seen that second Zombieland, Joe? Is that worth me checking out sometime? Because, you know, a lot of times the second one's never as good as, and it's probably not anywhere near as good as the first, just because it was so different, but maybe it's worth seeing. I don't know if you saw the new Zombieland. Okay. That's not bad. I'm gonna let that dry before I go. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see. The contrast paint dries interestingly sometimes. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either, and I mean, it's probably good. It's probably worth watching, I would think. The first one was so good, though. So good. That's the problem when you have something that's like really good. What are you? And to me, that's something that just happens with a lot of things. Like, for example, when I was, I think I was a sophomore in high school. Might have been, no, I'm pretty sure I was a sophomore. So when I was a sophomore in high school, Disturbed, that's when they first came out, right? Disturbed the band. And loved it. That Sickness, Down with the Sickness album, still really great rock album. Problem is, I think it was so good that it doesn't matter what they do. They just can't compare to that album. That album was too good. And as a first album, that's kind of really challenging because like Vengeance came out next, and it was okay, but it just didn't quite have the chops that Down with the Sickness had. Alright, we'll let that dry. So, yeah, it's just, I think Zombieland might be that same way, where the first one was so good that I don't know how you top that. Alright, let's check out these Asgardians with their green bases, because they're probably mostly dry. So I know it's probably a little hard to see, but as I kind of like lift them up, you can really kind of see how they pop. Did you just send me like the some kind of synopsis of Zombieland 2? Lily just sent me, Columbus, Tallahassee, Wichita, and Little Rock move to the American heartland as they face off against evolved zombies, fellow survivors, and the growing pains of a snarky makeshift family. And I know you probably copied that because I don't know if I've ever heard you use snarky before. So, yeah. Green basing, nice touch. This Loki model's really cool. I love this like ice shooting up. The Asgardians in general look pretty cool. Alright. That wash is going to take a minute to set. That setting. What else do we have we can do? Here, I got another one. Alright, Joe. I got another one for you. You got two cars. What color are the two cars going to be? Two cars can be the same, can be different. "30-second delay, Joe. What's it going to be?" Let's see what happens when I click on this. Are you shitting me? You want the cars orange and yellow. You want me to paint these cars the two hardest colors to paint on a vehicle, and you want them to look smooth. Pick two different colors. I'm not painting that. Unless you're really animate. If you really want them orange and yellow, I will do it, but it'll be a pain in the butt for me to paint. Like I said, I can do it. It'll just be a giant pain in the ass. I'm gonna wait for your answer because I mean, I haven't painted one of them blue yet, so that'd be interesting. And then I don't know. I don't really care the other one. I mean, like I said, I really could do a yellow car. It just takes a lot of layering, and the problem is the more layering I do, the more detail I lose on some of these panelings because the paint can actually get in there. And once again, brush strokes. So one of them I'd like to do blue, and I don't know, whatever your feeling is on the other color. If you really... Okay, I could do gray and red. Red's not too bad. I will do gray and red. And... well, which one? Red and blue or gray or red? Give me a final answer. And then, while I'm waiting on that, I'll do kind of the cartoony blue, like light blue windows. So I'll do kind of a, whatever you decide, but the windows will be like a light blue, and I'll try to do like a white streak going across it to try and give it that cartoony feel. Just need a final answer. Okay, we'll go gray and red. Yeah, because blue and blue for the windows might look weird. So that's probably a good call. Alright, I need... Yeah, those bases are going to probably take a while more than I want to wait to dry. So I'm going to mark these just so I don't forget. I need... That is the paint that's gone bad. Alright, so we are going to paint this one red. Okay. And this one gray. Can't wait for spring break. Okay. So we got gray and red. We'll go from there as I continue to paint the terrain. So you said blue for the Avengers. Okay, so we want this blue probably. And then red. Do you want... Let me show you this, Joe, just so I can see which one you want. So, do you want, when I do these Avenger bases, and this will be the kind of last thing that I do you want it this darker red or do you want it this brighter red? So that's kind of your two options when you look at your Avengers. And the blue, I'm going to take this lighter blue, but which red would you prefer for the bases around the bad guys? I'll do one of each just so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. One good guy, one bad guy. Let's throw that there. Yeah, I'll do these ring bases for one good, one bad, and then I'll probably hop off here, Joe. But I just want to know, okay, so you like the darker red. Yeah, that other red, it looks kind of orange when it's not layered. So I'll show you what it looks like once it's on the models. Okay, let's let that dry. Yeah, it's true. Do that orange red for another crew. Another gotta get off there. And let's do Actually, I don't know. This would look really cool on him, I bet. Yeah, and this darker red does have kind of a darker kind of bad intentions tone to it. I kind of like this too, Joe, because this kind of makes me feel like you have more say in your models. Because I know you trust me to kind of do the right thing by you, but I think it's got to be a cool feeling to kind of sit here and be like, you want to know what'd be cool? Can you try this? I think that's a cool feeling. Like it's got to be. It's cool on my end. I don't know how it feels for you. Alright, come on. Okay, let that dry. Let's do this blue again. Feels good. Yeah, plus it's just good to just hang out, just kind of do some nerd stuff, talk nerd, talk shop. Alright. Okay, let's let that dry. Let's do this red again. I'll probably even do another layer of it, because I might have to touch it up after I finish the bases. Seriously, sometimes I'm like, what freaking day is it? Like, the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure I've thought that most of today was like Thursday, and I think tomorrow was Friday, but now that I'm like, oh no, today's totally Wednesday. I've been sitting here talking about how I got one more day of work. I actually have goddamn two. Good job, Pete. I would say, Joe, it's pretty bad when you're like, man, I want to go outside, because you're always the one that's kind of like, I'm just going to hang out at home. So if you're getting stir crazy, we know we've kind of hit that point, right? All right, so we got our green bases with our Asgardians, which looks pretty cool. And then we have, I mean, I'm pretty busy at work. I have to grade, like, I have meetings. So like I had about 3 meetings today, and that's just done online. And basically I have to grade as stuff gets turned in. I'm a little behind that now, so I'm doing quite a bit of grading. I'm also putting out videos for the kids to help them navigate the online stuff. And yeah, just kind of busy contacting parents. But spring break, I'm not talking to anybody, and that's next week. So I'm really excited about that. So we got the green. We'll do the blue first because he's probably closer to being dry there. We have the blue. Very nice. And then mostly dry, should be good. And then we have the red. I'll let that sit there for a minute, Joe, so you can let me know how that looks. But I think it looks pretty slick, especially considering we're not quite done with the bases yet for Captain America and Crossbones. But I like that effect. That was definitely a good touch. You know, there's bad touch. That is good touch. Yeah, I think you're about to get all 3 of them. I don't think that you've seen all 3 of them yet because, like I said, the 30-second delay, but it looks good. Very, very slick. Let's see here. What do we got going on tomorrow? So I think I only have 1 meeting tomorrow. Not answering that email. Yep. I gotta figure out what to do for that. I'll worry about that in the morning. Boo. Delete. Oh, really? There's got to be some delay. Like, you may not see it, but let me check. Go away. Oh yeah, there's a delay. Oh really? There's gotta be some delay. Literally it just popped up. But that's okay. Oh, no, sorry. When I say delay, it's not a delay between what I'm doing in the video. The delay is I say it, and there's about a 30-second delay before you get it on your end. So the video and the audio are synced, but you don't get it until 30 seconds after I say it. So yeah. I think we're confusing the two. You're saying like a delay, like I would point and say this model, and then 30 seconds it'll be like this model. But no, it's the video and the audio is about 30 seconds it gets to you. So maybe not quite 30, maybe it's 20. Okay, I'm gonna actually go, Joe. So it's been great talking with you. We got some cool stuff going on here, and we'll probably do it again tomorrow night. So me and Joe sitting here hanging out, painting stuff. And if you are, if you're checking this out, rewatching it, hope you got some cool ideas. Maybe like these cool rings around the bases. And we'll see y'all next time. Should be doing the stream on Final Round Game Shop channel at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then I'll do this again tomorrow night. So see y'all later. Have a good one.